Guys, and welcome to American Culture. So I am going to release my first prophetic word onto you guys today. I usually keep these things to myself, but God let me know I had to share. You see, this is the week, and maybe even for many of us, I declare for myself, tomorrow is the day that things shift, that dream finally comes true, that the vision finally gets real. So many of us have been holding on to these things that only we can see. We talked about it in the beginning. Everybody called us crazy. You started thinking you were crazy, and you're like, I've been keeping it under wraps for some of us years, like myself. But God let me know this is it. This is the week that things change. And here's the reason why. You see, before something great happens in that spiritual realm, something very negative just takes place. We all kind of feel like we're drifting into a valley. And I was there. I've been there for a little bit. In fact, last week, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I can't go through another week the same way again. I cannot go to work like this. I cannot. So I took a day off, and it was the most refreshing thing that I had done. But I found myself waking up this morning saying, Alicia, I can't do it. I can't do another day. I just wanted to go back to sleep. Please, Lord, just let me go back to sleep. And it wasn't until later on that I had a conversation with my friend who's a teacher. She also wants to get out of that whole teaching thing. She has dreams and visions and stuff like that, but doesn't see a way. And she said, I've only got one more year, just one more year. Now, school hasn't even started yet, but it suddenly clicked in my mind. She's telling herself she's got to do this for another year without breaking free. And I finally realized that I don't even have to do this for another week. I'm to the point now to where I'm saying I don't even want to do this for another day. And I finally decided that instead of me suffering and putting myself on the cross, I'm going to be vulnerable and say, God, talk to me here. You know, I can only endure just a little bit more of this before something changes. And when I did, the Lord had me open the Bible, and I landed on Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 10. And it says, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and they stood on their feet, an exceedingly great army. Now, I had to do a little bit of research because, you guys, I read the Bible when God tells me to, when I go to church and things like that. So I'm learning as I go. And this is the chapter where Ezekiel breathes life back into the valley of the dry bones. And that's when it suddenly started to click. Before God gets ready to do something really great in our lives, we tend to find ourselves in these valleys where things just suck, you know? And it's just like, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to do this. I don't need to be doing this, God. Let me do something else. And I used to go into these valleys and give all the credit to Satan. Like, you are really trying to distract me. You're trying to keep me down. But no, it's God's way of saying, I am going to lessen you so I can exalt me, because it is through, again, our suffering that we get to glorify the Lord. He's put us in places where we know good and well, you know, the way that we feel with the resources that we have, we cannot get ourselves out of here. It is going to take the breath of the Lord himself to breathe life into us to get us through this valley. And that's where I'm at. And so instead of, like I said, seeing it as something that Satan is doing, you know, to like bring me down, to really recognize, so this is God lessening me, weakening me, so that he can come in and make me strong. So I am going to go and read Ezekiel chapter 37 and get acquainted with the story of the valley of the dry bones, so that I can further bolster myself into these next few days that God has. But yeah, there is a drastic change happening for so many of us. And if this is like your first time coming across this great depression or valley, I want you to kind of realize that especially if things are going just fine, they're fine, that this is a lessening of you so that you can see more of God coming in, so that the next thing, the next door that opens, the next chapter, the next book that you get into, you realize that it was the Lord that did it and not you. You see, a couple weeks ago when I was just like, I can't do these weeks anymore, that was all me. I just didn't have to go to work. I could take off. I could do for myself. But when it finally got to, Lord, I cannot do this day again, that's when I was like, it's got to be you. And like I said, having that conversation with my friend where her mind is, I got to go through another year. I'm like, I used to be like that. I didn't want another month like this. I didn't want another week like this until I took control last week and changed things. And now I'm saying I can't do another day. God knows I can't do another day because he knows how close I am to my life drastically changing. So like I said in the beginning of this video, I declare for myself and decree that tomorrow is a brand new day. That dream is coming true. That vision that I have is real. And I'm going to walk in that in the spirit first before I see that in the flesh. And I think God needed me to own that yeah, it is time. Everything has said so. All of the leading up to the cleansing that I've done, the breaking of the generational curses, the knowledges, the being able to sit with the Lord, me hearing him and saying, I want to take this serious. I'm going to devote myself. All of this has come to this point for him to open that door that I am so ready to walk through. So for those of us out there that are in the same boat of this sucks, we're in that valley, just know that God, like he did with Ezekiel, getting ready to blow into those dry bones and making a mighty member of an army out of you. Have a blessed day, you guys.